Resident Evil Apocalypse is the follow-up to Paul W.S. Anderson's surprise and highly underrated hit, Resident Evil. The drop in quality in this film from the previous one due to him not being involved was something that Anderson regretted deeply, and thus decided that from this moment on, he would be involved in every Resident Evil live-action project moving forward to ensure that each project received the proper quality it deserved. Look, y'all. I'm just repeating what he said. Apocalypse was indeed an apocalypse, but not in the way it was intended. It was the beginning of Resident Evil's live-action downfall. This is the film where the great potential created by Resident Evil 2002 was squashed in favor of propping up the franchise's original character. Trailers and hype gave the impression that this film would see the beginning of the film franchise's foray into the game canon, and boy was I excited. Raccoon City? Jill Valentine? The Nemesis? Hell yeah! Needless to say, the disappointment was outdone only by the disrespect. So how was Resident Evil Apocalypse the beginning of Resident Evil's Apocalypse? Let's find out. Resident Evil Apocalypse begins with a now franchise staple recap of the previous film, though it has yet to implement its other staple, retconning its own lore to fit the new film's narrative. Well, just this tiny retcon for now. Yo, I thought once the doors closed, they stayed closed. Maybe the sanitation team received faulty intel.
Those glass doors we passed on the way in from the mansion, they seal shut in just under an hour. If we're not out of here by then, we're not getting out. Containing the incident is the only fail-safe plan they had against possible contamination.
Umbrella.
Am I right?
We're reopening the hive. I want to know what went on down there.
Once again bankrolled by Constantine Studios out of Munich, Germany, Apocalypse was given the R-rating green light just like its predecessor. Anderson's Umbrella at least has some sense to evacuate VIPs without causing a ruckus, though not very inconspicuously. Another positive for this film is that it thrusts us right into the apocalypse. We get a hell of an intro to the first OG of the series, Miss Jill Valentine, as she gives us an insight into Raccoon City Police Department's community-oriented policing. Failure to moisturize properly, high-calorie intake, grown man wearing ripped jeans, adult and babysitter purveyor, unsolicited spicy companion, comic relief, comic release. Two good Christian boys walking a lonely, frightened lady home on a dark night. Though Training Officer Valentine failed to specify which head. Hell yeah! That's how you bring down crime. Robocop style. Super Cop style. Hell yeah. Sienna Guillory isn't perfect as Jill, but damn does she look good. She went the extra mile to mimic Jill's movement style from the games, even as far as adopting some of her status dances. We're reacquainted with Alice, our protagonist from the first film, and then the film introduces us to Carlos in a generic action intro, but at least it gets a cool one-liner out of it.
No! You're gonna kill her! Take us down now! She is a civilian! We have our orders! Fuck orders!
Umbrella does what Umbrella does, and barely 10 minutes in, we know the major players, the primary conflict, the basic SL plot, and the annoying little kid is out of the film. We're off to a great start. Alice, Jill's group, and the UBCS operatives are all trying to make their way out of the city. All the while, this nerd with the tiniest glasses ever named Dr. Ashford has been gathering content for his prank YouTube channel. Jill's group, composed mainly of cannon fodder, seeks shelter in Ravensgate Church. A possible slight St. Michael's Clock Tower reference? Because, yeah, the majority of this film's plot is based on Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Okay, not the majority of the plots, but the basic outline. The reporter panics and activates a possible Resident Evil 1 nod by pressing the action button at the wrong time. Expendable Ginger number 1 is hunted down by a licker suffering from extreme inaccuracy-itis. I guess the film thought, oh, they're called lickers, I guess they lick, and completely disregarded that lickers are also known for being blind as bats. So what's up with this liquor vision, Apocalypse? Is it to make up for the lack of creativity in this scene because the cannon fodder is making all sorts of noise? Especially with these loud as hell whispers that are louder than just talking?
Shh. I know.
I count 3 of them. They got us boxed in.
What are we gonna do?
Let's go.
Xeno vision, yo. Alice rides in to save the day, or night, by defeating all 3 lickers in the chapel, all by her lonesome self. And I suppose one of them forgot to mutate after feeding on fresh DNA?
Now that it has fed on fresh DNA, it will mutate.
Noob liquor show, but at least the Jill is still awesome, even giving some accuracy with her footsteps. Disgust for the raccoonite cowards.
You're feeding her? You're sick.
And full of sassiness.
Who the fuck are you?
Hell yeah, Super Cop. Day-Day apparently forgot to read the script and spawned in the wrong game.
GTA, motherfucker! Oh, yeah! 10 points!
But honestly, I don't know which one would be worse to spawn in. We get a pretty decent recreation of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis intro and a cemetery set piece that may or may not be a Code Veronica reference. The T-Virus doesn't work that way. The film quickly regains my attention with this cool little Nemesis intro and possible inspiration for 3Make's Nemesis intro. Nemesis gets a loadout drop as soon as he spawns, that lucky bastard, along with 2 more possible references.
No! No! Don't leave! No, we're done here! They're coming! No! Don't go!
Close enough. Almost immediately, he encounters a whole team of campers.
What do we have?
A dozen armed men, well organized.
Okay? If you say so, lady. To no one's surprise, Day-Day's also here showing off his overpriced, I'm sure, store bundle.
My shit is custom.
Altering protocols.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Stars.
Hell yeah! But hold up, wait a minute. What in the blue hell is that? Look at those shoes! Look at that big ol' head! My man's looking like the next step in human evolution. Which is far from reality because Nemesis is played by a behemoth.
Respect.
Just like a true, shameless COD player. Jill's deprecation begins to seep into the film.
Those were some pretty slick moves back there. I'm good. But I'm not that good.
No, you're not that good. You are way better than that, Miss Valentine. But don't worry, it only gets worse from here. Dr. Ashford says it's just a prank, bro, and makes a deal with our 2 groups because that's just plain and safe.
According to Ashford, Umbrella know they can't contain the infection. Raccoon City will be completely sanitized. Precision tactical nuclear device.
What yield?
5 kilotons.
Fuck me.
That's what I'm trying to do, baby girl. Jill's group is ambushed by Nemi, and this is where the film flat out tells us that our childhood
Doesn't matter!
by metaphorically and in actuality switching Nemi's attention from Jill and Stars to plank of wood protagonist Alice.
Primary target is identified.
Gentlemen, this is what we've been waiting for.
We... Same.
Run!
Just go!
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on.
Hell yeah, break through that wall, big boy.
Hold on, pause.
And this is a good time to point out the terrible cinematography of the film. Mila Jovovich complained about the script having too much action, but it is based on Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, a more action-oriented entry, miss. My issue is that the action is just boring. It's directed, choreographed, and especially edited poorly. Which is a real shame because it seems that all of the actors and choreographers put some real effort into making this work. Especially Sienna and Mila. Mila was also the one to suggest the idea of Raccoon City experiencing a heat wave in order to justify the skimpy outfits. A sort of preemptive move to counter costume criticism. But really,
We don't care.
we just want to see game-accurate costumes. Not because sexism or anything, but because it shows faithfulness to the source material. But also sexism. Apocalypse does a real disservice to its R rating by inexplicably cutting away before most of its deaths. But is that a little Leechman theme I hear? Why? Oh, hell yeah! Okay, we get it. You don't have to focus on it too much. Inside the elementary school, our groups encounter one of the most annoying enemy types.
A child. No.
Nikolai drops a couple of cool one-liners.
I've got this bitch.
Not now.
Stay.
But they were way too cool for this film and on the verge of outshining Alice. Plus...
You work for Umbrella?
Used to. Till they left us for dead in this place. Now, I consider myself...
Pop quiz! You're Nikolai Genovev and you have just been left for dead in a city overrun by the living dead by your evil pharmaceutical employer. Now you find yourself bartering unconventional deals just to hitch a ride out of town. Which fantastic word would perfectly encapsulate this situation? Would it be A, freelance, B, mercenary, as in how you are referred to in the game upon which this film is set, or C, expendable ginger? Trick question, it's all of the above. However, if you had to choose, which would be your final answer, Mr. Genovev?
Freelance.
Ooh.
At your service.
You get nothing. You lose. Shit. Good day, sir.
The film just can't allow anybody to outshine the franchise's original creation, especially not side character in her own film adaptation, Jill Valentine. Yeah, this isn't the game canon anymore.
Fuck this shit. I'm outie.
Nah, I have to finish this video. Just like this film wouldn't be possible without the success of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, Alice's last-second save wouldn't be possible without Jill's elaborate setup. So, you and your homeless costume. The annoying little kid starts giving her annoying little kid exposition.
He's sick, and someday I'll get sick too. He just wanted to stop that. When I was little, I had to walk on crutches. They said I'd never get better, just worse. He's not a...
Here's your $2.
Maybe it's the T-virus, maybe it's all that smoking that's killing you. Hashtag don't do smoke. Unless you want to be
Dope as fuck.
But always carry a lighter, just in case of emergencies. And victory cigars. Hell yeah. Carlos walks in looking like a freaking 8-ball, and Lilu is more than willing to exchange drugs with this mummy-hunting gigolo.
When were you bitten?
I'm just really... Hi.
Hold up. But she was more than willing to shoot first and ask questions later with the black guy.
That's racist.
Huh.
You really thought I didn't know?
He practically told you, my guy.
A few moments
earlier.
I'm not leaving without my daughter.
The risk of infection is too great. You must understand.
You do what you have to do. I'm staying.
The film goes into Code Veronica Overdrive! And we get a much better look at how tacky Alice's outfit truly is. Hold up. Is that supposed to be mimicking Claire's bootcut jeans and Code Veronica? Because I get it, the Ashfords, though named after the Ashfords, are stand-ins for the Birkins, and the whole rescue a little girl is Claire's plot in Resident Evil 2. We're at the film's climax now, and it's obvious to see that Anderson's labor of love is missing. There's no backtracking, no puzzles, no door animations, no other subtle nods to the games, no standout theme. And now, Alice is overtaking our primary protagonist's plot lines. First Jill's plot in RE3, and now Claire's in RE2. To be fair to Apocalypse, they did try to cast the Claire, but 2 actresses dropped out and they couldn't find a suitable replacement on time. So her character was shelved for this film and would later be portrayed by whipped cream bikini rocking Ali Larter in the follow-up Extinction. Mila Jovovich remains the real female Tom Cruise and insisted on doing her own stunts, regardless of how unnecessary those stunts may have been. Nemesis and the other baddies catch up to our group and we have a final boss fight. Alice comes out on top because, of course she does.
I know, I was so surprised too.
Nemesis pulls an old school caught move and switches teams after he starts losing the match. So he turns into one of the good guys through the power of friendship. Umbrella nukes RC, Alice is captured by Jorah, but just like that Westerosi girl with 1,000 names, Alice exposes her trademark biddies in exchange for her freedom and superpowers. Because she becomes Alexa, or something. Alice is rescued by the Scooby Gang.
Let them go.
That's not my Khaleesi. But oh no! Alice is under mind control! Or something. Wow, what a roller coaster that was. The film was written and directed by people who clearly don't understand the source material. Anderson at least tried. We often hear how big fans of the games those involved in these films are, but the extent of their fanship is never specified, nor their understanding of them questioned. I'm sure some of them have played 1 or 2 games and are casual to the rest of the franchise, but I doubt many of these fans have grinded these games, unlocked every ending, or delved into extended lore like you and I. Which, to clarify, isn't a necessity when crafting a film adaptation, but it definitely helps. It just bothers me that somebody would brag about being a big fan, but disrespect Jill this way. All these fans on set, but what they needed were actual consultants. Now imagine this, I'm a big fan of Halo, but I do something as dumb as remove his helmet. Or, I'm a huge fan of Judge Dredd, but do something as dumb as remove his helmet. Or, I'm a huge Mandalorian fan and do something as dumb as... You get the point. Alright, I'm done. Now, one more example. Imagine I'm a huge Doom fan, but I don't even include the Doomslayer in a Doom movie. Or, I have a random character make one of our protagonists look like a complete and incompetent idiot. Y'all get the point. Now, I'm not saying that I completely understand every aspect or themes of the games, nor that I could make a better movie, but I could probably make a better movie. At least I could treat the source material with some respect. Quick note, who in the blue hell wrote this IMDb trivia? Sir, does this look like a cement truck? Leon and Jill in RE3 Nemesis? Did one of the writers write this? The CGI is still bad, practicals and stunts still look pretty good, except for that little rundown. As real as that was, it looks a little goofy. The Cerberuses are played by the same good boys from the first film.
Jasmine, she's back. And it was funny when they came back, they definitely remembered the makeup that we put on them from last time.
So that was a pleasant surprise to learn. Aside from these good doggos, the only returning actress from the first film is, of course, Mila Jovovich as Alice. Fun fact, her commitment to Resident Evil 2002 was questioned in the form of her willingness to only show one Jobo biddy. So, in Mila Jovovich fashion, she went above and beyond to show her commitment to this film by showing not one,
What's your lucky day?
but both of her Jobo biddies. Hell yeah! That's a win for peer pressure, y'all. Nemesis is okay. They really tried, and for what it's worth, it would have looked great in close-ups only. These full body shots really highlight the suit's fallacies. I think a model or a different suit would have worked just fine for these shots. Terrible symmetry aside, the prosthetics look really great, and CGI wouldn't have done any justice to Nemesis at the time. Props to Matthew G. Taylor for bringing to life our first on-screen tyrant, especially because he could only wear the suit for a maximum of 10 minutes at a time before overheating. And he is jacked as a mother, so if he could only take 10 minutes, I would die in that thing. So when I die, bury me in a Nemesis suit, yo, and on my headstone engrave stars. Nah, don't do that. By far, the standout is Sienna Guillory as the OG Super Cop unlocking extraordinaire Jill Valentine. I remember watching this film in theater and being in awe of her appearance. This was Jill Valentine brought to life. Sienna was perfect. That was young, innocent Aniston Ghost. Rewatching the film now, that haircut is a little off, but damn does she look good. And she didn't have to show nudity to show her commitment to the film. Sienna acquired Gameplay, a PlayStation system, and a copy of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis in preparation for the role of the vindictively disgraced STARS officer. She vehemently studied Jill's movements and mannerisms to adequately mimic the fan favorite in film. And I cannot stress enough that this is a non-fan of the games with zero prior knowledge who did her research, immersed herself in the source material, did not try to make drastic changes, and gave it her best. That's how interpretations should be done, in service of the original artwork, not the actor's ego. And I honestly believe she did one hell of a bang-up job. Better than those who claim to be fans, but delivered gold-plated rubbish. Jill's fallacies in the film are the result of the writing, not the actress. Unfortunately, and ironically, the star of the film isn't the STARS officer upon whose story the film is based. It's Mila Jovovich's Alice, because of course it is. And also, of course, in her most ridiculous outfit, not only in the entire series, but also in her entire film repertoire. Yeah, I can't get over that. What a contrast to Jill, whom Alice undeservingly outshines at every turn, from their first meeting up until the closing scenes. When Angie finds herself in great peril towards the film's conclusion, who do you think will step up and save her? Of course. Overall, I give this film a solid 1.5 out of 5 Nemesis. This dumb-looking outfit, Nemesis' big ol' head and clown shoes, the terrible editing choices, the veering off course from perfect source material, and the constant disrespect to OG Jill Valentine.
He was a valuable asset to the corporation. I don't even care about these people.
Are the reasons why Resident Evil Apocalypse was the beginning of Resident Evil's live-action adaptation, Apocalypse. Anyway, I gotta go, do something real quick. I love you all, bye!